The University of Manchester Library is widely acknowledged around the world to be one of the world's great libraries. Unusually for a very large research library, we also have a strong vocational sense of our responsibility in the city of Manchester, and social responsibility and our reach to communities and schools is incredibly important to us. So those three drivers have enabled us to think really carefully about what we do now, but also what we need to do in the future. And part of that future is our work on Innovation District in Manchester to give us new audiences and new reach into the city.
The Office for Open Research was launched in 2022 to strategically coordinate the university's response to the open research agenda. We wanted to provide a one-stop shop for the university's researchers to access the range of support services that are available to help them make their research more open and reproducible. We want to support the communities that we know are out there across the university who are already actively engaged in open research practices. And we want to champion open research within the university, nationally and internationally. Open research and data that enables real-world impact.
We help researchers be as open and transparent as possible throughout the research process and when creating all of their research outputs. The Office for Open Research can support researchers with expertise, support, guidance, funding and infrastructure. Potential partners, whether they're academic, civil or commercial, can trust that research created at Manchester is robust and rigorous as well as cutting edge. This allows the University of Manchester to contribute to the global knowledge economy in a trusted way, ensuring that the university remains an integral part of the civic fabric of the region.
A library that offers life-changing opportunities.
The University of Manchester Library holds one of the world's greatest collections, and we're transforming and opening up new opportunities for researchers to undertake incredible research at massive scale across our collections, using the new technologies enabled through AI. In the past 2 years, we've seen the explosion of AI into the world, and the University of Manchester and our library is redesigning the way that we support people, research, discover, teach and learn as AI impacts every manner of what we do. Building on an incredible heritage of innovation and creativity, the University of Manchester Library is redesigning the services that we offer to ensure that we can support the people, the communities that are moving into this brand new space.
So the University of Manchester has historically been connected with computing and generative AI and a lot of other innovative technologies. But at the heart of that kind of work are the students and staff that are exploring and innovating inside those systems and with those tools. We have millions of pages of content and context, and what we do is we help connect those students and those researchers who are using those tools with the sorts of things that they can use to then push use of them forward in their sectors, across the country and around the world.
Enabling people to research at massive scale across the depth and breadth of these collections, opening up new insights and fascinating and future-informing discoveries. As Manchester's Innovation District opens up to new communities of creatives and innovators, the University of Manchester Library is going to be centre to that community, offering support to the different people inhabiting that space.
A real tension when there's anything that's innovative and new, but that requires investment and resource, is who gets access, who can use it, who can explore with it, who can learn how to employ it and deploy it inside their work. At the University of Manchester Library, we are committed to making sure, alongside the university as a whole, that our students have equity of access to this generative AI technology. That means that we not only help them get to it, we look at what they can use, what tools might be most useful for their learning, but we also help them practice it. We give them safe places to explore and experience something that is going to change the way that we and others work. In addition to that, we spend a lot of time with them exploring the ethical and sort of learning challenges around using generative AI tools. It's not just substituting one part of your learning for another. It's not a time-saving device. This is going to change the way we work, how we approach, and what we think about learning, and we want our students to do that with us.
We are at the dawn of an exciting new age of computing and digital technology. This is just the start. The University of Manchester Library is going to transform and reimagine what it means to be a library for the second half of the 21st century.
Well, we put the students and the researchers at the heart of everything that we do. We're looking not only at how they work and what they might do, but how we have to metacognitively reflect on what it means to use these kind of tools. How learning will change when we partner with something that's outside of our own brains, and how research can be impacted where something can help us pull up those little niggling things that we might have forgotten.
Our directorate, being the world's first AI directorate in an academic library, will focus on integrating AI technologies and new ideas into our library services, research support and academic resources.
At Manchester, we're aware that there's a lot of potential, but there are also some barriers and problems, and we're well equipped to address all three.
The British Pop Archive is an amazing project based here at the University of Manchester Library. It brings together youth culture, pop culture and counterculture archives, something that has been so integral and so important to the city. Music culture particularly, it's something that Manchester is known for. It's the first and only national archive dedicated to UK popular culture. The British Pop Archive now sits within the John Rylands Library, a building that opened in 1900. Its historic collections now include contemporary items, which updates the collections, brings in a new audience, encourages new people to engage both with this building and with the library's collections.
As a library, it's our duty to tell the stories of human history, and we need to do that in as accurate and as honest a way as possible. If we're only telling some stories and not all of them, then we're not doing our job. To tell more stories and to allow more people to be seen within our collections and to be able to access them and hear stories that can inspire their lives.
Pop culture inspires people. So it began as something that was just for youth, and now it's become a huge industry and a cross-generational obsession, if you like. A lot to do with inspiring people, particularly when they're young, and they keep that with them all their lives. So there's a lot of generational nostalgia.
The beauty of seeing this kind of material means that people can see themselves reflected back in the library's special collections. Whether they're gigs they went to, bands they loved, posters they owned, magazines they bought. It's a very personal and direct way of seeing themselves within the collections. All these things are integral to the way that people feel. These materials connect with people. The British Pop Archive challenges the concept of what libraries do with their collections. It brings in new and modern material. It updates the collections. It brings in a whole new audience to a place where people didn't think they had any connection to. The thing about pop culture is that it is continuous. It's still happening. People are still making music, people are still making art. And so in that sense, what we hope is that as younger and newer generations engage with the materials, it inspires them to be creative, to develop, encourages them to be bold and progressive and to think about how they can make their mark. And hopefully, in essence, what will happen is that their material in the future will become part of the British Pop Archive. There should be no end to our collecting. In essence, it should never end. It should just be a continuous programme of collecting, because pop culture doesn't end, it continues to move forward all the time.
The BPA's new home in the innovation space will allow us to develop wider exhibition programs, more frequent exhibition programs, and thus make greater use of the materials that we have.
What makes us unique is the fact that we sit in an incredibly privileged position to be able to combine world-leading research, globally significant collections, and an incredibly talented army of students behind us to be able to kind of shape the offer for the schools and communities program. And it means that we're able to kind of be really in tune with what's happening to young people, the changes that they want to see, and the skills and experiences they need to be able to do that. A key aspect of how we work is in collaboration with the students and the young people in the city that are around us. So hopefully what we do is shaped by their needs, it's shaped by their desire, the changes of what they want to see around them. And it's our responsibility to use the spaces, the expertise, the collections and research that's happening across the university to help the young people be able to fulfill those changes that they want to see. The future for young people is increasingly uncertain, and they're having to navigate a world around them full of complexities and change and flux. And it's our responsibility, given the expertise, the collections and the spaces that we have at our disposal, to offer those out to young people, help them to be inspired, help them to be challenged, help them to equip them with the skills that they're going to need to be able to navigate that world around them. So it's about us empowering young people by using the resources that we've got at our disposal.
So one of the things we're very proud of having done is shone a light on teaching research, but then also thought about what does that mean for when the students graduate. It can differentiate them from the rest of their peers. We're incredibly proud of that programme.
Using the university, using its networks, its people, its expertise and its collections to be able to help young people begin to navigate that world around them.
A library that offers life-changing opportunities.
The British Pop Archive celebrates creativity and UK popular culture.
Open research and data that enables real-world impact.
AI that enhances access to human knowledge.
Schools and community focus that provides change.
Creative.
And collaborative.
Visionary.
Dynamic.
Trust.
Empowering.
Innovation.